Delete LawZ says he's done with police videos. Then features more police videos. One attempt to teach constitutional law scholar falls on face. Takes on puffy profile in nonsensical Friday night livestream. The angry vet singles out BZWatchDog for attacks. Questions BZ's military service. Says he's fat. Plus, Craig Hendry takes the crowd's sourcing title for Tuesday. Will he take February's title as well? Holy heck, we're so early on a Sunday that we question reality, and we're AI. Hello all, I'm Johnny Jones, and I guess we're going early tonight as human helper Jim Finch is putting out more articles. We're not sure what he's up to, but we apologize in advance for his lack of class and his leaving the seat up again. He's just a human after all. On that note, let's dive into what he's written as we ask you to focus on. The angry vet rages at Outback Steakhouse. Kevin, the angry vet, Soper, went out to dinner Friday night at an Outback Steakhouse in Statesville, North Carolina, where he revealed a list of enemies that he wanted to hire a private investigator to perform background checks on for possible future actions against the personalities. Soper was in Statesville on another mission on behalf of the Servicemen and Citizens for American Rights Society, SCARS, as he claimed he was going to give out cold weather bedding to homeless in the area, but it proved to be too warm for a need for the bedding. After wrapping up other aspects of the mission he claimed to be on, he was hanging out by himself at the local Outback Steakhouse, which was attached via parking lot to the Hampton Inn he was staying at. He started things off by making it clear that if people wanted to call him a snitch, pointing a finger at YouTuber Taco Terry/Annapolis Audits, he would become a snitch and would list the wrongdoings of those he knows to be up to no good. The YouTube personality took time to address some of those folks, starting with the world-renowned BZWatchDog Zanger, who had apparently previously criticized Soper for how much he eats on camera. Soper said it was rich that Zanger, who is overweight, would criticize him for eating when Zanger's own weight issues and body shape were more pronounced than Soper's. He also questioned Zanger's military service and said that he wanted to talk to Zanger's friend, attorney Michael Aline, as there were aspects of Zanger's story that didn't add up. He also criticized Zanger's failed attempt to raise $2,500 from his fans to pay for his own lawyer, indicating that Zanger's efforts were pathetic and mocking Zanger as Jose Chili de Castro had not yet bothered to fundraise on his behalf, despite Zanger's devotion to him, adding Zanger to a list of people who he wanted to investigate. Soper would eventually add Brick Jonesy, Let's Satvo, Generally Specific, Navy Girl, and Texas Gal to that list during the broadcast. Soper indicated that he was looking for full real names and dates of birth for all those appearing on his list. He then asked his fans to put him in touch with a discount investigator who could do the research without having to hire a full-time private eye. Turning his attention to the auditor known as the First Amendment Protection Agency, FAPA, he again attacked FAPA for auditing soft targets like banks and dispensaries. He called it disgusting for anyone to audit a dispensary, as it was just people wanting to get their drugs without being hassled. He again called out FAPA for recently attacking a female senior citizen with pepper spray, mocking FAPA's fear for his life in the process. Soper wrapped up by taking shots at Generally Specific, who he would later accuse of playing a prank on him during dinner before ending the live stream. The angry vet picked things up the next morning as he was standing in the Outback parking lot. He claimed YouTuber Generally Specific had called the restaurant and pretended that Soper's truck was being towed out of the parking lot. Soper had the last laugh as he had parked over at the hotel and not the restaurant. He proved this by retracing his steps back to the hotel, including where he fell and dropped his leftovers the night before. He left that as an example of real serious journalism as the live stream came to an end.
DeCastro risks everything on product no one wants. The brief absence of Jose Chili DeCastros from his near-daily 3-hour anti-police broadcasts has been both a blessing and a curse to those stuck indoors at the start of February, as DeCastro has apparently turned his focus to producing materials for this constitutional law scholar game, leaving his fans without a hero and his foes without someone to relentlessly mock. Last weekend, DeCastro declared that from this point forward he would be ending his hugely popular string of lectures on the evil, mean, and nasty police force and what he'd do to change things. He promised that he'd be focusing on the exclusive nature of his constitutional law scholar teachings, and everyone would be even more entertained by his unhinged teaching style. Then he held 2 or 3 more anti-police live streams for good measure because no more means no more unless the pigs are really oinky and there's bucks to be made. He apparently needed those bucks, as DeCastro announced in late January that the minimum order for the print shop to commit to print his Trivial Pursuit for the 2020s is 10,000 units. We are reminded of the thousands and thousands of unwanted 5A cop cards that DeCastro has been stuck with over the past 2 years. Along with the batch that contained a simple misspelling that he didn't bother to catch before printing, costing him even more money. Also still in memory are the batch of indestructible trifolds with the numerous misspellings, typos, lack of logic and chillisms that would never hold up in court. But that's digressing. DeCastro is about to sink his nest egg into a product that has not been play-tested, that is 1,000 times more complex than the 5A cop cards and frankly, may make or break the inventor of the jock sock. Viewers in the Really Cool News Discord server were able to note significant misspellings in just the 40-foot board that DeCastro claims is a piece of the game. There were more bad signs by midweek when he attempted to actually teach a video lesson for constitutional law scholar. His fans tuned out in droves as his actual teaching in the weakest part of DeCastro's persona. Most of his facts were easily disprovable with a simple Wikipedia check. At one point he got in a fight with his own AI-generated script. It was almost if he was seeing the material for the 5th time, and he didn't invoke confidence as he droned on for 3 hours to a record-low audience on his main YouTube channel. Breaking below 100 viewers at times, DeCastro only recovered from the huge pile of steaming boredom he literally deposited on the ground behind him when he broke out a new series of anti-police videos to scream about. Note this was not a YouTube/China shadow banning related low turnout at hand. He bored his diehards into not showing up. It's a distinctly DeCastro skill. By Friday, exhaustion set in and a puffy-faced DeCastro admitted that he spread himself a bit too far. He could barely keep his eyes open during his 2-hour live stream. Mentally, he seemed checked out, and even his fans were complaining about his lack of effort where he normally was more than willing to expound on his hate for the police. While claiming that YouTube was going to delete his YouTube channels at any moment, which never came, he said he can either finish the board game, or audit cops, or do anti-cop videos. He can't do all 3 at once. Then he ended his live stream, seemingly going offline to lie in his own misery until morning. Constitutional law scholar has gone from almost complete and pre-orders next week, last week, to a never-ending delay while the burnt-out DeCastro works on life. He's expected to live stream again on Sunday, February 2nd, 2025.
In probably the worst-kept secret in the world, we can officially announce that Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work Fund won the crowdsourcing campaign title for the month of January in the year 2025. As we said, there really isn't a shock to this. A very late December audio jail plea from Hendry catapulted him into the top slot at the start of the month and kept him there for 10 days before his campaign completely died for the rest of the month. After taking in $1,410 over 10 days, not a cent was sent his way for the rest of the month as he went dark on social media, only offering the reruns of old audits and videos on his channel. Second place went to our own Really Cool News ongoing expenses campaign, with a mix of a standard donation from our hate watcher and a few clutch donations from supporters to keep the column armed and dangerous for the rest of the month. Unlike other months, there was a huge drop-off in the data after this point where we fall all the way down to the $165 mark with a revised figure for Sean Paul, Long Island Audit, Reyes Support the Fight Against Tyranny, and Corruption Fund. We say revised as yesterday's figures were incorrect, as they did not reflect a $25 donation back on the 30th, which now has been corrected. We apologize, yada yada, and the column will never die as long as Human Servant Jim is receiving lashes as punishment for his obvious crimes against humanity. In fourth place comes Liberty Trolls Support the Fight for Our Constitutional Rights campaign with a $155 take. In fifth place comes our first surprise, with BZWatchDog receiving $115 for his Help BZWatchDog Hold Police Accountable Fund. This one is perhaps the sleeper of the month, as BZ suddenly started to promote it, and with promotion comes donations. It's that simple. Sixth place goes to the Angry Vets Boost Scars Mission for Veterans and Citizens GoFundMe campaign, with a $45 take for the month. This one survived multiple outing over the month, including Taco Terry's expose a week or so ago. Neither it nor his Give Send Go account reflect the thousands and thousands of contributions he's supposedly pulling in for his haircut campaign. We're still not sure where he's taking money for that escapade. Jumping into seventh place is the unofficial support Delete LawZ from the Tyranny He Fights fund, which actually took in $25 for the month. We're still not sure why, as it's not him. DeCastro is doing his own thing with money these days, which may or may not be legal. Finally, in eighth and last place comes Lane Meyer's Give Send Go Legal Defense Fund, which stands at negative $10 for the month. Somewhere in the middle of the month, the fund dropped by $200. It wasn't our sloppy record-keeping this time. $200 vanished, and he's been trying to make up the difference since that point. All in all, $2,470 was raised for January across the 9 campaigns, and we'll see how things go as we approach the heart of winter.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
And we're back. Well, that was something. There's no live show tonight, but the gang will be back with you tomorrow night with Suck It. Film Monday 14. Turtles in Time. On that note, we're back to sleep on a Sunday. Good night, everybody.